Welcome all of you once again. And this session is completely for doubt clearing session. What we have discussed till today on Python core programming elements. So before getting into making you unmute to talk on any doubts, let me tell you a small topic instead of why I thought of making this as a doubt session. So yeah, everyone able to see my screen and it's audible? Can you please reply? Yes, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So today, the intention behind making this session as a doubt session is, so when we were discussing on Friday on functions, on call by reference and call by value and call by reference. 1 second. Okay, it's not, looks like some keyboard has changed. Let me just a moment. Oh, sorry. My keyboard was not connected. Yeah. So we have discussed a topic on call by value and a call by reference. So while discussing this topic, and even after we practiced on the session, we have also discussed how to prove call by reference is happening in Python. Okay, this is a proof. This is a method. This is the code what we have written. Okay, how to prove everything is call by reference. Okay, not call by value in Python. To prove that, we have passed the list of, we have passed the variables, either the integer or string or the list, whatever. Okay, and we have checked the values here before passing to any function, and we've also checked the IDs of it, the identifiers of the memory locations, okay, of the variables what it is pointing to. And after calling the method, we've also checked the values of the variable what is passed and also the identifiers. Okay, with that we will be able to prove that the values and the references of the variables are same when we pass the variables to a function from a outside of the function. Okay, when we call a function, invoke a function, we pass arguments, we pass values, okay, as a variables. It passed through the function, it passed to the function as a call by reference. Okay, not the values. That means it didn't pass the values, it passed the reference. How did we prove that? We proved with the by printing the values and the reference what it is pointing to, L1 and L reference. And later on we changed and also printed the reference. Okay, so if we change, of course it'll, it'll change. And the L reference will be changed, and whatever the past L1 will not change, because we are not dealing with L1 there. We have completely assigning to a new list altogether. Then the reference will obviously be changed for the memory location. Okay, that's why the L1 is going to be changed. Whatever is L is going to be changed, what we manipulate within the function, but L1 remains same. Okay, but before doing any manipulation, the references of L1 and L are same. So this is what we proved, and we try to, we try to do. This is the last one was a recursive function, not required. That's enough. So this is what we have discussed and all these things. During the discussion of this, Kannadasan has asked, I am still getting confusion. Okay, I'm still getting confusion. I didn't understand. So, okay, he asked me to explain, and then we had a note to note. We also had a notes to explain how the variables and all that stuff will happen. How the references will go, how the you know how the identifiers will come to the variables of the memory location. Okay, how it will be mapped. Okay, X is mapping to A, Y is mapping to B when it is function when it is called to the function. We are calling from outside of the function and reached here. Okay, so this is what we have explained. I believe after explaining this, everyone got clear. Okay, everyone got clear. But after the session, I was thinking, did I miss anything, while explaining or before explaining? Is there any prerequisite I missed, or my explanation was wrong, or I was thinking that way. So just to add on that, okay, we should have added a small topic called value type and a reference type. Okay, so I should have hinted a couple of small notes and a small practice, okay, on value type and a reference type. Then everyone would have understood without without making a diagram and all those stuff, spending another 30 minutes on that. So what do we mean by value type and a reference type? Okay, so any data type variable, if that variable holds the value, it is called a value type. Okay, any variable of a data type holds the value, then it is called value type variable. Okay, but whereas a variable of a data type holds the reference of the memory location where the value got stored, then it is called reference type variable. Okay, if the variable holds reference of a memory location where the value got stored, then that variable is a reference type. Okay, so if the variable holds directly value of the memory location, then it's a value type. If the variable holds reference of a memory location where the value got stored, then it is called reference type. Okay, these are the two data types variables across any programming language. Okay, just to show a small illustration how it looks in other programming language. Okay, not in Python. Say if I declare any variable, kind of C# or Java, whatever it is, if I declare I equal to 100, because if you see int string, this is a different programming language. We don't do that in Python. I also mentioned how it works in other programming language. Okay, so if I declare a variable and put a value on 100, the variable is directly points to the value 100 where it got stored. Okay, but if it is a reference type, what I told, the variable holds the reference of the memory location where it got stored. So it's a string, some value, hello world or welcome or whatever it is. The welcome is stored here, hello world is stored here in a memory location, and the memory location reference is this. Okay, memory location has a address, but memory location has also a reference. That reference, okay, is stored by the variable. So variable points to the reference of a memory location where the value got stored. This is how value type points to directly value. Variable type points to a reference of the memory location where the value got stored. So this is how any programming language, the value data types and the reference data types works. Okay, And then going ahead, in Python, it's completely different. How it is? How it is? In Python, all the variables are reference types. All the variables are reference types. What is the reason? What is the reason? That also we have discussed already many times. All the variables are instances, objects of the data type classes. Int, str, list, tuple, dict. These are all the classes. These are all classes. So the variables what we create for these classes will be instances or objects. So if those are instances or objects, obviously those are reference type. Those are reference type, because objects will stored in a memory called heap. Value types will store in a memory called stack. Okay, in any other, in across most of the languages, it's kind of same. That's why the value types will store in different segment of a memory, and reference data types will store in a different segment of the memory. It's called stack and heap. Okay, and coming to the Python, everywhere, I mean, all the variables are instances, are objects of the reference type, sorry, objects of the classes. That's the reason in Python, all variables are objects, instances. That means reference type. Okay, it's not value type. Just to prove that, we also had a small program and we already printed. I just put an example here. And the reference what we call in Python is identifier. That also we have checked. ID of variables we have printed in the example, and we have seen, okay, what it prints. Identifier of a variable. Okay, so we have printed and saw that, seen that already. Okay, so any variable, what is its identifier of a memory? Okay, variable has that identifier, okay, which is nothing but a reference of the memory location where it got stored. Okay, so on this we have already discussed and also printed and seen how it works and what it prints. Okay, and this is how a variable, we can illustrate. Okay, I can zoom in a little bit. As I said, this is a memory, and any variable is kind of a type. That means a class type int, and value will be stored within that memory location, and it has a address or an identifier. Okay, and the variable has a reference. Yes. Okay, the memory location is this. The memory location will be this. Every memory location has an identifier, has a reference. Okay, you can call that as a reference or an identifier, and that reference will be stored in the variable. Okay, the variable actually points to a reference. Okay, so that is how any variable stores in a memory location in a particular address. For every memory location which got created for an object has a reference which is called an identifier. That identifier is stored by a variable. Okay, and the same explanation is made here, nothing new. Okay, and we have practiced enough. Okay, and this is also, and one more thing, if I have a variable dynamic, if I have a variable declared as 443, and if I change my variable to value from integer to string, how dynamically it change in terms of memory, we have already seen in the variables itself. This is another pictorial, representation. So when I change that, of course, the reference B points to this. Okay, nothing new. And the first one reference is gone. The first memory of reference is gone. No reference for it. Okay, so it will become orphan memory, and this will be cleaned up by garbage collector. Okay, slowly by the programming language. Any programming language, it works in the same way. Okay, so this we got. I thought of including in the including as a prerequisite before getting into call by reference and call by value. It would have made more clear to you to understand it quickly without asking a next question. So that's why I have added that, nothing more. Then you can have, okay, a question from Muhammad. Okay, It like linked list where node contains memory address and data contains the value. Exactly. Similar way. Okay. Correct, Mohammed. Yeah. Now you can ask any question. I think I'll unmute. Not able to see that. Just a moment. I'll get that option. Yeah, everybody got the permission to unmute themselves and then can carry on your questions. You can ask any questions till today, whatever you had, any questions on the topic wise, whatever it is. Better on the on the training program what we're doing, and the topics what we're doing. Okay, if we have time at the end of the session, we can discuss any other questions, but until then, until last 15 minutes, we better discuss on the topics. Okay, any doubts, you can unmute and tell.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mohammed, I am able to hear you. Yeah, please go ahead.
What is the difference between address and reference in terms of Python?
Okay, see, memory address is a location. Sorry, so if it's stored in a memory location, it got an address. It has an address because any value should be stored in a particular location, particular location, and every particular location has an address. Every particular location has a address. Every location has a particular address, and for every location for every location, this is an object. A value of object is this. Memory location where it got saved is this. Okay, and this memory location, for this memory location, a reference will be created. That reference will be stored by the variable. That reference will be pointed or stored by the variable. For every object, a memory location will be there to store its value, and for that every object, a reference also will be created to identify that. Okay, say for example, if I have a equal to b equal to c equal to 3, like 10 variable, like 3-4 variables, if I point to 20. Okay, if I point to 20, then 20 will be saved. But all my 3 a b c, all my variables will point to the same reference. So for the memory location where it got saved has a pointer. Okay, not the variable. Just to check that, let me open an untitled. I think that the last session, whatever we have discussed with the memory, you know, the memory location, I mean the memory picture and the references, what I made it, I think it's pretty much clear that every object has a value to store at a particular memory, which has a location electronically. Okay, if you save somewhere, okay, it will have a memory address, and for that object where it got saved has a identifier. So this is called a reference. So identifier, we call that as a reference in the Python. Okay. And to check that, okay, just make a test notepad. I will make a equal to b equal to 20. We can print value of ABC. We know this, and we can also print ID of A, ID of B, ID of C. Okay. Control enter. So look at now. Value has on value. We have only single value, which is 20, and it will be saved. It will be saved only at one particular memory location. At one particular memory location, that has an address. For that memory location, for that object. Okay, for that memory location, for that object, there is an identifier which got created, is ID, which is this. Okay, that's the reason you see that all three variables has the same identifier. This identifier is nothing but the reference of the memory location where it got saved. Okay, so that is how it works in Python. Okay, is it clear, Mohammed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is why we call everything in Python is object, right?
Yes, correct. Exactly. You're 100% right. And in a, if at all we want to tell in a different language perspective, we can tell that why all the variables are reference type means all the variables are instances. Say I can give type of A, which is int. So what is int? We can also check help of int. Okay, alt enter. See what is int. Int is a class.
Yes.
Okay, and it has all the members. What you can do with the int: protected members, properties. Okay, and the normal methods which you can convert to bytes, all that. Okay, so this is how you can check
Yes.
from other programming language point of view. If at all we want to tell, all the variables in Python are objects, are instances of a class. That's why those are reference type. Why they tell in that way means in other programming languages, they tell in a memory perspective. Value type store in stack, reference type will store in heap. Okay, all the instances are objects created for a class are the references, because those values will be saved in heap. Okay, and the memory addresses will be stored by those objects, not the values. That's why they call that as a reference in terms of a C#, in terms of a .NET, C#, .NET, or a Java point of view, if somebody wants to explain. But if we want to particularly tell the way how Python does this way. Okay, every value stored in a memory, and for every memory block a reference will be created. That reference, that identifier will be saved by the variables. Okay, from Python perspective, this is how we can prove or explain. Okay, yeah. Next question, please.
One more question.
Yes,
Where object is saved in memory, heap memory or stack memory?
That difference is not there, no, in Python. Of course, it should be heap, right? Because there is no segmentation, and there is no difference, right?
Oh.
Because we are not telling there is a value types, data types available in like in other languages. What they tell is primitive data types are value types. That means integer, float, boolean, all these things, string, all this. Okay, and not the string, float, integer, boolean, all this. And when it comes to string or user defined objects, all these things, they call arrays, especially because it has a pointer from one to another. Okay, so all these things are user defined classes like customer, bank, whatever it is. So these are all reference type. They store in a heap, because there is a value types and the reference types categorization, and the segmentation, the memory where it's saved has a different segment. Okay, The value types will save in stack kind of memory, and the reference type will save in memory called a heap segmentation. That's why they tell that specifically and explicitly. And but when it comes to Python, they don't tell that it's a stack and it's a heap and something like that. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Yeah. Next question, please. You can ask any topics from topic 1 to topic 12. 12 sessions we had, start from introduction to till today. You can ask anything.
Javed, Kannadasan here.
Yes, Kannadasan, please go ahead.
Yeah. So in the reference to call by reference and call by value, so
Yeah.
which one do you think will actually change the value when you pass a variable inside a function? It's a call by reference should change the value, right? Not the call by value.
Yes, call by reference. Of course, call by reference.
Call by reference, yeah.
Of
That's
course,
what
call
it
by,
is making.
because see here,
Mhm.
because see here, I am changing L here.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
but still my reference didn't change.
Correct.
Okay, that means it's call by reference.
Correct.
We
Yeah.
call,
Let's say like
yeah.
if an variable a equal to 10, which is outside the function we declared it, and if we pass that variable inside the function, and if we modify that variable,
Yeah.
let's say a equal to 20, so
Okay.
that's going to change if it is a call by reference, because we are not passing the value, we are
Because
passing the reference.
correct.
And
Correct.
if we change the reference, if we change the value, obviously it's going to affect the value
Correct.
outside the function.
Exactly.
Correct.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. And in the
Because
call by value,
yes.
let's say if the outside is a equal to 10 in outside the function, and
Yeah.
when you pass that value, not the reference, the value actual value inside the function and change it to 20,
Okay.
and
Yes.
the outside value is not going to change.
Change. Correct. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect. Because we are passing value, not the reference of the memory.
Exactly.
Okay? Yeah, we are directly passing copy of a value. What we call that as a copy of a value. We will be passing a copy of the value, not the reference. Okay, when we pass a copy of a value, only value will be passed to a function, not the reference of a memory. Yeah. Correct. You're exactly right.
One thing I've just taken a note. Let me read it. Just correct me if I have taken something wrong.
No
All
problem.
variables or objects are instance of a class in Python. So when a
Yes.
variable is given a value,
Yeah.
the reference to the value, which is an identifier to the memory location, is stored in the variable, not
Yes.
the actual value.
Yes, perfect. Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect. I can even write that. Of course, I have written, I believe. If I don't write that, let me write that. Very good statement.
Thank you. This
Okay,
is
yeah.
all for the interview preparation.
Yes. No problem. We are all for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the main purpose, right? What is the point of what is the point of promoting job oriented program? Okay, I can simply add 3-4 topics in Python and then tell quickly in 1 month and go away. Not like that. You can see. Okay, I'll talk on that end of the session instead of wasting time. No need. Okay, we'll talk at the end of. In Python, all variables are objects instances. That means all are reference type. Here in function a comma b are assigning to new variables with assignment operator. Then the different memory locations are created and stored in the values. Okay, and before that, we can also the values of the variables passed to function do not have. Okay, not this. Okay, what I do is let me write in the notes. Okay, anyway, this notes also I updated. I'll re-update once again. I'll write a notes here, or let me write here and there both. Okay, this is a check one. This is a perfect one. Okay, change this. Okay, same is there. Yeah. In Python, all variables are instances or objects of data type classes. Okay, data type classes. That is, all variables are reference type, reference type, reference type. Okay. In Python, variables store identifier are a reference of the memory location where value got stored. Okay, is this enough? Is this enough? Yeah, is it clear, Kannadasan? I think.
Yeah, it's clear. Thanks, Javeed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Next question, please. And copy this statement and also put in the notes as well. Okay. Yeah. Next question, please.
Sir, you provide the assignment, but I would like you to provide with
Answers.
no answer, but input and expected output, like coding platform, where
Okay.
one or two examples. It will be more
clear. Okay, got it. I think most of the assignments are like that only, except strings. Okay,
Yeah,
except strings,
it will
because
be more
yes,
better. Yeah, if you provide with
I'll update then.
examples. Yeah.
Yes, I'll update that. Variables, you have the same thing. Operators, you have the same thing. Even the control statements also, you'll be having the same thing. Only for string methods, I have seen good problem statements, and I checked it. It's to be frank, before writing anything, not only my experience. Yes.
When I don't get the questions, I go to the internet and get distracted. And spend a lot of
time. Okay, no problem. For all those questions, whatever provided for the string, I'll add the problem statement with the values. Okay.
Yeah.
And also we'll tell the how the expected output should be.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. There are 20 there are 25 25 questions. For all of them, I'll add the problem statement values and the expected output and re-upload. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought you're asking answers. We can give the answers, but people will not. Will maybe it will be.
No, sir, I'm not asking for that.
No.
I'm just asking for the input and output.
Sure. No. I was thinking that way. Because if by adding answers, right, what will happen is we'll not break our head. We have to break our head. Yeah. If we break our head, then we will never forget. That's it. It'll print. It will register in your mind. When you break head for something, it will never go anywhere until you're a programmer or a developer. Till then, it will be there. That's why, think ourselves, and we'll try to break our head and try to find out, not from internet. You will get most of the answers from internet, but if we do that, then we'll be failed. We will be failed. Yeah, as a team.
I stop trying when I go to internet.
Yes, yes. As an entire team, as a trainer and students, we are all will be failing. Okay, so please understand the purpose of the assignment, not giving the answers. Okay, just break our head, no problem.
Javed, that's why I have enabled the AI Copilot in my VS Code. I've just disabled it.
Don't give any suggestions, huh?
So earlier we don't have so much resources, but now there are so much resources, and
Yeah.
we got
AI
confused.
will suggest optimized code. You can refactor this way, you can write this way. With syntax itself, it's giving, right?
No, if you just type one line, the next 10 lines of code comes.
Comes automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it understands what are we trying to do.
Yeah.
That's how if somebody worked in Infosys, they are heard from about Infosys, they'll be training of six months for freshers. During entire training, they'll not be allowed to use internet. Okay, their systems, they cannot Google it. So you have to write by everything by yourself. You have to practice, you have to break your head, and write any examination or anything by yourself. No Google. The training, yeah, training will be like that. So they will literally remember most of the syntax, most of the code, most of the problems what they have solved during the training. So that's the beauty and what they have figured out, the best strategy for a training. So
But we can refer to our study materials, right? That we can do.
We can
refer to our study materials which you have provided, right, for the assignment, or even study materials also?
No. Study materials is enough, because before giving that, what I do, first I'll go through and all the topics what we have covered in the session. What I do, say for example, I'll show one. Okay. Say the recent one which I created was for operators. Let me check what is there for operators. Yeah, I uploaded already. So this is for operators. So before doing what I do, I'll check what all is there. Okay, arithmetic operators is there, and then assignment operators we have discussed, then comparison operators, then logical, okay, then bitwise, and then unary, and then special operators, okay, and then precedence and associativity. So I'll make sure in the recap all the topics what we have discussed and the notes is covered, and in the assignment whatever we have emphasized while practicing, this you have to remember. This is very important. This is any difference, any note, whatever we made during the explanation in the presentation or in the course. So I'll just remember and make try to make use of the theoretical questions to cover all of them. Okay, all of the topics like unary operators, precedence, what is associativity, how it works, what are the composite operators, okay, where associativity will come into picture, what is associativity pattern for these kind of operators. So just to ensure to cover all the topics what we have, all the subtopics what we have covered. And I'll try to write my own examples, and I'll also check 5 to 10 websites minimum. I'll open 5 to 10 websites. I'll make sure for all the topics whether the examples have been covered or not. Okay, arithmetic operators covered or not, okay, logic comparison operators covered or not, precedence is covered or not, okay, and the examples of arithmetic operators precedence is covered or not, logical this is not logical, comparison operators precedence is covered or not, okay, and binary operators, for the electronics people, if they're interested, computer science people, they can do that. This is not a big calculation. Okay, so bitwise operators like are covered or not, okay, and then that's how I try to ensure for all the topics whether the theoretical and the problem statements have been covering or not. I'll cross check and put all the problem statements from my individual, and from also the try to get from all 5 websites, and try to consolidate minimal number of problem statements to cover all of the all of the subtopics. This is how I do Kannada sir.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, so that we don't miss it. That's the reason. it's same thing most of the this thing, even for the control statements is not covered. Yeah, string methods also. So if you check for string methods, okay, we'll check all the topics on the string methods and try to provide, of course the practice itself will cover so many things, okay, but we'll try to ensure in the assignment, did we give in the assignment, did it cover all theoretical, okay, and all the notes. Coding problems, you will check slicing will be covered, replay all the methods of replacing, reversing, checking whether they are numerics, are there alphanumeric, all those things, okay, finding out words, converting to list, all those things, okay. So this will literally check our aptitude skills, how we can think, okay. So this way it will cover most of the topics, binaries, everything. So I'll cross check the topics, I'll cross check from the different websites to cover problem statements on all the topics or not, okay. Yeah, next question please. Next question. Hello.
Yeah, sir. Here,
Yes, tell me. Your voice is not.
Here the question number G. We are
write the program to convert
the snake case to Pascal
case. Yes, correct.
Yeah, I don't know the Pascal case. If you provide the input and expected output here, like in the all questions possible.
Yeah. I'll put. Okay. But you shouldn't tell that I don't know snake case and Pascal case, because in the variable sessions, minimum I iterated from 3 to 5 times. 3 to 5 times, I iterated. What is a snake case? What is a Pascal case? There are examples also given in the variables. Yeah. Yeah. So
this is the example.
Yeah. So it's clearly told what are the rules, okay, and the naming conventions, what to follow. Snake case, what is the example, how it look like, Pascal case, camel case, and all. Okay. So we have told clearly. Yeah, no problem. But for other questions also, it may be straightforward. They need to think about inputs and what to come and all. It will be kind of overhead for you. I'll give the example. That makes more sense. You're exactly right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next questions, please. You can ask any question in the topics what we have discussed. Until somebody asks a question, how are you feeling the sessions, whatever happened till today? Is material, is way of explanation, or anything to improve, or is it good, or and 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 the content what we are covering, are you getting, are you satisfied, are you want more content? So you can tell anything, you can type also, or you can directly talk and tell. till last Friday we had 12 sessions. So how were the sessions in terms of content?
Hello,
Yes.
yeah, hello, sir. This is Mandeep.
Yes, Mandeep. Please go ahead.
Yeah, conceptually, we are pretty much happy. And then even if I look into the details of the Python syllabus, it was pretty much covering everything.
Yeah.
But the one thing, it's I think as my side,
Yeah.
I was expecting like we like to show the experience after we finish the course, like
Yes.
when we apply for the application for the
Yes.
jobs.
Yes.
So why don't we take kind of one of the real-time scenario completely, and then you can explain us like like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So in that way we can go to in deeper after the concept once you explain everything.
Sure.
So that will make us to go in more deeper, or
Yeah.
so that will help us even in the interview. If they ask something, we can also think in that way. So
Yes.
because of we already discussed in the session, so
Yeah.
that will be more helpful for us. But conceptually, you are covering pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But I think we need to have the more add-ons to go into the scenario type as well. I think so.
Okay. You're 100% right, Mandeep. Okay. So I'll tell you when it'll start that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. See, when we have we have sessions for Python, basics till here. Okay, till here are the topics, and there are capstone projects. Okay, so when we are about to finish, especially when we start doing object oriented programming, okay, when we start discussing on writing multi-threading, multi-processing and all that, okay, when we start building assignments with the capstone projects, this time we will definitely, okay, even if I don't want to tell, even if I want to put basics, still you will get lot many things practically, what to be there, what not to be there, how to implement, okay, what all the scenarios, everything. Because if I tell now only in the during the learning of programming elements, it may be overhead, or you know uh, students may think, may not connect, actually may not connect to the may not connect immediately to the real time scenario, what we are trying to say. Okay, so while learning programming elements, let it be with the simple implementation, the practice what we are doing. As you rightly said, when we start doing object oriented programming onwards, what will happen is we have to use everything whatever we have discussed. We have to use operators, we have to use control statements, we have to use functions, we have to use all the data types. Okay, we have to use multi-processing, multi-threading, everything, all the concepts we have to use while discussing, while doing practice, while doing assignments on the object oriented programming. Okay, because you have to write class, you have to write functions to implement something, then all the programming elements will cover. And during the assignments, or during even our normal practice also, what we do, so we will be doing, we'll be learning GitHub, and Flask will come next. Okay, and we'll also be giving you the basics on the database as well. Okay, because we will be developing a project, what will happen is, as you said, we will discuss more scenario based, more topics, more in depth, okay, while doing capstone projects. Okay, that will be definitely there. If at all, if we require more in depth while doing that, okay, you can please suggest me while doing that. Okay, so but very good suggestion, and this is very much required for any job oriented program. Very good, Mandi. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, I understood. Like, I think you are trying to cover all the fundamentals first of all,
Yes.
and then once we finished everything, I think you are taking the more consideration of the people who came from the different background.
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem.
I got you. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions, please? somebody pinged. Let me see that. Each and
Sir,
every session is going.
when is the
time.
Python basic going to complete, sir?
Complete. Yeah, there are 2 more sessions for data types, 2 or 3 sessions, and for object oriented program it may go 3-4 sessions. Okay, total 5 sessions, and for modules and package only 1 session is enough. Okay, exception handling will be covered during the object oriented programming itself, no need to have a separate session. Okay, and commonly used modules 1 more session, 1 or 2 sessions, so 5 plus 2 7, and multi-threading and the multi-processing 7 plus 2 9. So all together with 10 sessions we will be covering, we'll be finishing all the Python core programming elements, and we'll be getting into capstone projects, I mean assignment, doing projects on the what we have learned. Okay, while learning, implementing capstone projects, okay, we will be learning GitHub database basics as well together, okay, as a part of the implementation. Otherwise there's no point of having a separate session and killing the time for you. So we'll do as part of that. That will be more better. Yeah, that will be more better. So with another 10 sessions we should be able to complete all the basics, because the reason why I'm putting more time, so as I said last Friday, with my 17 years of experience, what I observed during my fresher, even when I got a job as a fresher, most of the times with the fundamentals and with the basics only I cracked the interviews. Every couple of years I change the job with the new technologies, with the new things, what is there trending in the market. So that's why I attended more than 200-300 interviews till during this 17 years. So I know how to impress, where people will really get confident on a candidate. So if you are very strong in the fundamentals, your first impression is itself is good enough. You're halfway done. You're mostly done. Okay, because when it comes to the advanced topics, people the interviewers may ask how the authentication will work in the Django. How do you implement in your web application in Django? How do you implement authentication? How do you implement authorization? What is the techniques? Do you use single sign-on? Do you use something else, or do you use what kind of methodology you use? Can you explain that? Can you write an architecture for me? Okay, can you draw? So nobody will ask you to write the entire program. People will ask either the pseudocode, algorithm steps, or ask you to write a diagram and explain. But when it comes to fundamentals, they will straightly ask to write the question, write the code, either the direct interview or the online interview, or they'll send the coding platform link and ask you to clear the coding test. So that's why we should be very strong in the fundamentals. If we are very strong in the fundamentals, learning Flash, machine learning, whatever it is, whatever it is, not only this Python, anything I'm talking. If you are very good in the fundamentals, learning advanced concepts and building applications on advanced concepts is pretty much easy, because all advanced concept is nothing but another module which has a classes and methods to utilize them. Okay, to put up in a proper way to build an application, to build a feature by using that concept, right? So rest of all we have to write the code. What is that code? Of course the fundamentals. That's why even in my demos also I told to all of the students, if we are very good in Python, this course, the training what we are giving now, rest of all whatever you want to learn, it will be cakewalk for you. That's why this the Python advanced or expert course is a fundamental course for any data science course or any machine learning or any artificial intelligence, anything. That's my confidence, which I proved from last 17 years. That's why I emphasized 3 to 4 times to all the students. And I'm also requesting you, if somebody has not believed or somebody has a different opinion, okay, but I request all the students to please have very good hold on fundamentals what you learn. That's all, any programming language. But this will also make sure, this course will make sure to get you to to enable you to learn any programming language just like this. just like this. I'm telling you, in a span of 1 week to 2 weeks, you can pick any programming language. You can pick up, you can groom in a 2 weeks any programming language. After this, I challenge, after this course, when you're while learning, after Python course, and when you get a job, after doing your job, to learn any programming language, you will get in 2 weeks. Either it is Java, .NET, whatever or Go, whatever it is. Okay, you will pick up in 2 weeks. That's how I designed the course. It is not by looking at couple of institutes and bringing the course content and put it. If you look at the course content, what we are included, it's purely based on the experience. Yeah, any more questions, please? Questions on the topics? Because if I talk
Also, sir,
yeah, we'll be keep on talking. Yes, please go ahead.
for full stack developer,
Yeah.
there is also Django or other JavaScript framework is required. I
It's there.
think.
Yeah, it's there. No, it's there. No, Zang, we are first telling all the HTML.
No, Node.js, I think. Yeah, I mean
No.
JavaScript.
JavaScript is there. JavaScript is there. HTML.
JavaScript framework like Node.js.
Okay. No.
For full stack developer. So required or not?
Okay. See, when you learn any one framework, you can learn any framework. Okay. We need to learn only one framework. That's enough. Okay. So when we know JavaScript, when we know say for example Ajax, or when like any one framework like Express or React or Angular. Okay. So if one framework is enough learned, then all rest of the frameworks, it will be cakewalk. That is required for full stack developer. You're exactly right, Mohammed. It is required. But when you learn all these things, it will be cakewalk for you. If it is not cakewalk, don't worry. Either Express.js or React.js. One thing, I'll take a topic and then a couple of days I'll give you as a separate videos or something else. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
But
I saw many job platforms.
Yes. As you rightly, yes. Yeah. As you rightly said, for all of the people who are not aware of full stack developer, like it's a both backend code writing and also the front end web applications development. So let me better open my course content. I think that will be better. Check, do we have the curriculum here or not there? It's not there, sorry. I think the course content. Yeah, sorry. So this is the core Python. This we have no. Okay. So we are talking about what Mohammed is talking is in while learning apart from to develop any web applications. Okay. So along with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, any JavaScript frameworks like Angular, Express.js, okay, React.js, will this be needed? Is it required? So what I'm telling, it's very much required. Okay, because I didn't add, it'll be exhaustive. The course we are trying to finish within 2.5 months, not more than that. That's the only reason I didn't keep. It's not that we couldn't offer. Okay, it'll be vast for you. But after learning all these things, learning another framework will be a cakewalk for you. If at all who is not feeling that, we'll try to put some videos, okay, either a good videos from someone else, or I make the videos, okay, on one particular framework and give it to you and add in the course content, which you can see anytime. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. And it is very much required. It is very much required. Either one framework, either Express, Angular, React, any one framework is required. Yes, Mohammed, you're right. And even the company is also expecting the same way. If they know Angular, they'll think that that's okay. He can pick up Express. If he knows Express, that's okay. He can pick up React.js, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that you should be knowing everything. It's not possible also.
Yes.
It's not how one project can use everything. No, not right. Either one module they use.
This is how company think, right?
Obviously, but but companies, how the companies are, companies, thinking, they people should be knowing everything. Okay, so how?
Yeah, they put everything in the job requirement.
everything in the job description. Okay, this is that's kind of ridiculous. Okay, but we can be confident. No need to hesitate to answer them. That, see, it's kind of another framework. How much time it hardly takes for a real-time experienced guy who has 4 years, 5 years, 3 years experience, who has continuously worked on development. Picking another JavaScript framework, it hardly takes a week. You can tell this statement. Picking a new framework and a JavaScript framework for a web developer, it will hardly takes a week to 2 weeks time, not more than that. First 1 day to see the content, next 3 days to see the topics, okay, next 1 week to put your hands and make it dirty and just get a hang of the technology. Another 1 week you'll become a medium medium expertise. That's all it takes, not more than that.
Learning concept is limited, but learning framework is limited. In machine learning and data science, we have seen that.
Correct. You're exactly right. Correct.
Hello, Javeed.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Javeed this side.
Yes.
Actually, I want to ask one doubt regarding PySpark related things. So suppose we are working on Databricks side. So either we need PySpark or Scala or some other language. So
no PySpark. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
So there is any session continue for the PySpark in the Python export course, or
no? It's not there, because whatever you're asking, it's part of data engineering. Actually, the PySpark, SnowSpark, METLs, okay, all those things part of data engineering. Okay, so and of course PySpark, SnowSpark, all those things can be written in Python only. No Scala is not required.
Okay.
It's developed.
It will be helpful for me in future to work with Databricks and PySpark.
If you are from a data data related background, if you are a if you're a SQL developer, or if you're a ETL guy, or if you're a big data, if you want to become a big data engineer.
Currently I'm working with ADF side now, so that's why I'm asking.
Yes. It'll be
this course will help to me to work on PySpark side. If
100%, entire Python programming elements, everything is required. All multiprocessing, multi-threading, writing classes, calling functions, creating lists, taking data frames, how to manipulate them, your data science, all the data science libraries, everything is required. Okay. Yeah, everything will be used.
Okay, that's the doubt for me only throughout the session. So
yes.
Now got cleared much.
Yes, Tejas. It will be used without any doubt. Yeah.
And one more thing, actually, regarding XVAS thing, I connected with someone on this, but they said you can join this session for the doubt clearing session. 2 days it is working fine for me, but after 2 days it's abruptly closing that window again.
Express browser, is it?
Yes, Express browser.
Okay. No problem, Tejaswini. Actually, see, now as a company, we have the only bottleneck is to connect, to protect our data. Okay, so there is a big team, website management, content management team working from different location for the company, for our company. So the big challenge what we have is a data protection, because these are online trainings. We cannot send a Zoom invite to them and straight away to join, because what the company experienced in during last year, 2021 and 2022. So couple of people, when they were running the trainings on completely on Zoom itself, they used to have the apps installed on their machines and try to record everything, and then make it public in Facebook and everywhere, YouTube, and then used to sell that course to 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, and company put cases against them, cyber cases. They came to police station of Bangalore, fined the amount. These and all things happened. That's the only reason they they have broken their head and try to bring some platform, not to copy, not to screenshot, not to record. Okay, there are some glitches. You can immediately catch up the session, the course coordinator Karthik, and we are also trying to bring up any other easy platform to do the same responsibilities. Okay, so we are literally working hard. We may replace as soon as possible the Xflash with a very good learning platform, to have everything at one place, by giving the same protection, same privacy, same security.
Yeah, last week also faced same issue, but one of the person, I didn't remember his name exactly, but he resolved that issue. But after that, again today also faced same issue. Means multiple 3 to 4 times I faced that issue. So
yeah, that's the reason. Okay, just join 5 to 10 minutes, at least 5 minutes, 5 10 minutes before. That is one more reason I'm starting exactly at 7:10 every day. If you observe, by 7:10 or 7:11 or 7:09,
yes.
I'm sharing my screen and starting the session, because that 10-15 minutes,
I am joining before the time, but still faced that issue.
Yeah, because we know that out of some people, a couple of people will get the issue, and then try to quickly solve that. We will take this. We are, of course, start from this Python training session. We are trying to find out an alternate platform to provide same security, but hassle free, for very smooth joining for the student. We are working hard to bring up another platform, alternate platform. We'll do that.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Javeed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Any more questions, please? Okay, somebody has pinged. Let me see that. Do we have time gap after completion of Python basics curriculum? No time gap, Madhav. Question from Madhav. Time gap will be there. Time gap will be there for when you implement. Sorry. Okay, when you implement projects, no. So when you implement project, so when the project is given on core Python, okay, a documentation and way of doing implementation will be given for you, so that maybe during that time there will be small time gap, but after that we quickly start with this Flask and Django, first Flask and then Django. Yeah, not much time gap, Mother. Is it
Javeed, starting this Flask in Django?
One second, Mother. Is it clear, Mother? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Next question, please.
Yeah. Javed, this is Kannadasan. So when are we actually starting this Flask and Django?
Yeah. If you look at, okay. So first we are covering core Python, and then after that, database basics will be given regarding, and also I'll cover, I'll cover quick catch up how to do all those things with the MySQL. Okay, and GitHub. Okay, so this is part of Python basics. Okay, part of Python basics, and also the Flask, So Python, all core programming elements. Then after that, database basics, GitHub, all these things. As I said, it will be covered, while doing, while learning, a couple of concepts, oops concepts, all those things, and then we'll come to Flask, and then Django, another. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any more questions, please? You can also ping if you have. Okay. If you would like to ping, you can also ping. No problem. You can ask any questions on the curriculum also, as I think Mohammed and someone else also asked on the curriculum. Okay, you can ask anything on the curriculum, because now we have reached 8:30, so you can ask any other questions also in the about our program, about our training. Okay, and some of, I already asked question like how is the training, what and all I can improve. Okay, Mandeep said to have, a scenario based or a real time project oriented session while explaining projects or while explaining, advanced concepts going further. Good, very good thing. And what else? Yeah, that's the one suggestion we got. Yeah, you can also give me any suggestions on the course content, on the way of explanation, or anything, the way how we are doing training, how can we improve better.
Sir, Mandeep here again. And one more thing.
Yes. Yeah.
After we finish all our course,
Yeah.
is some kind of certification can you suggest us that going to help our profile? When we have the same competent in the interview, is that going to help us really to go to forward? So,
you can do Python developer certification from Microsoft.
okay.
Okay, I'll after the course I'll so put all these in your in your to-do list, everyone. Okay, if you want have do the course, all those things, I'll help you on that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to have certification as a Python developer certification from Microsoft. You can do it and keep you in your profile. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions, please? I think today we have 15-16 people joined, and a couple of people asked questions and they left, and another 25. We had around 45 students, I believe, 45-50 students. around 20, around 10-15 students, completely depending on videos. I think looks like they have job conflicts, or they have occupied, they've been occupied completely, so that not joining the sessions. And some people have, as it's a doubt session, I think less people have joined. They just would like to hear from us what and all we are discussing. Yeah, any more questions? All good then. Okay, one more question. I would like to have examples. Yeah, this is okay. You already asked this, and we have already answered. Okay.
Javed, this is Kannadasan here.
Yes. Yes.
Let's say like we are applying for a job in which whatever we covered is coming, and apart from that, they're asking like, do you know Angular and do you know React.js if they ask us?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how can we tackle that part? Can we say like we have learned Angular as well, or we should say like, no, we don't know Angular, we just studied only this web framework backend and something like that?
No. What we do is we'll try to either you try, or I'll also put try to cover or try to keep the videos for one framework. Okay. Then you can incorporate that into your experience. Okay. You will say, as you worked in this framework, say suppose React.js. Okay. You worked in this. Okay. And if the requirement needs another framework, you can tell I can pick up on that framework in 1 or 2 weeks. It doesn't take much time. Yeah, they will accept. They will accept.
Yeah, React.js and this Django framework, they're completely different, correct?
See, you see, Django is completely a Python framework. Okay.
Yeah, Python.
Python framework. This JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax, okay, and Express.js, Node.js, and Node.js is not a kind of it's not for front end framework. It's a platform where we can run where we can run Java JavaScript based applications. Okay. Okay. So JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax, Express.js, okay, Angular, React.js, all these front end. I mean, the web applications, the web pages, basically, not even web pages. To create the web pages, okay, and to incorporate the themes, to incorporate the validations, okay, to incorporate the templates, to incorporate the data binding, all that.
Right. So which is the front end in our course curriculum?
This is all front end. No, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, everything. This is front end only. If you add one JS framework to extra as a Express.js or React.js, it will be a full-fledged. Okay, no, nothing missed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angular is a language, right?
Angular, no, it's not a language. Angular is also a JavaScript framework.
Okay, JavaScript framework.
Framework. Angular also JavaScript framework. Express.js JavaScript framework. React.js also Angular JavaScript frameworks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not language. It's not language. Angular is not. Yeah, not a language. Yeah, good question. These and all you should be knowing. You should be knowing and you should be asking because this is job-oriented program. So we should have all these questions, all these clarifications during the during learning the program and before getting ready for job search on the Python full stack developer or a Python expert, who knows all this Django, Flask, data science and machine learning and all this stuff. So we should be knowing all this stuff, how to answer, how to crack the interviews, all that.
Django is the framework to develop web application, and Flask is the different framework which we can implement web APIs using this, right?
Correct. Is it Tejaswini? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. Flask.
John,
yes. Flask.
What I understood from our initial session, like if I remember correctly, you mentioned like Flask is a lightweight.
That's what I'm explaining. Okay. See, Flask also Flask support two things. Okay, it's a lightweight. It's a lightweight framework, Tejaswini. Okay, it's a lightweight web framework which works on a Jinja 2 engine. You can also have, when it is lightweight framework, you can also develop web applications as well. Okay, a simpler and smaller web applications. Okay, which will support UI templates. Okay, it supports developing having a UI templates which run on Jinja 2 engine of Flask. Okay, it will also support developing a RESTful APIs, web APIs. So you can develop web APIs also using Flask. Okay, there are two things, which is
web application as well as APIs. We can develop in Flask framework, and with Django we can develop only web applications.
Yes, web application. And Django has also a Flask, Flask capability to develop. Okay, but the thing is, most of the people will use Flask only because if at all you want to have a RESTful API, why you want to have a Django, which is a heavy loaded framework. So Flask is a lightweight framework for which is pretty much apt for developing RESTful APIs. So why to use Django? That's why most of the people use Flask only to develop REST APIs. Most of the people don't use Django, and you shouldn't call it as a Django. When you call as a Django, then the interviewer will quickly identify that you're a new to Python. You should call it as a Django.
Oh, D is silent.
Yeah, D silent. Okay, we shouldn't pronounce as a Django. It's a Django.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though we are experts, even though we have experienced people, if we tell Django, then they may think weird. Okay, that's the reason. Yeah. Any more questions, please?
Sir, here one more thing. When we are really going to encounter the interview, some point I think the interviewer will ask about the functional things apart from technical.
Yes,
because
domain.
we do
domain.
not. Domain. Yeah. So where we will cut, right? Like really, we do not have exposure on this side. So they try to figure out, because nowadays, like everybody try to show up something.
No.
So first of all, they try to.
No problem, because we are covering at least 2-3 domains. No, the banking, we may definitely be doing a banking, or we may definitely be doing for an insurance, or stocks related. So you'll be having some amount of domain knowledge while implementing these projects. Okay, so you'll be knowing and you'll also be learning by yourself. Okay, so what and all domains will be keeping. So better to have some knowledge on that domain, how a banking system works, how a life insurance system will work. Okay, how a stock market will work. So it will be good for even as a person also to know those domains. So yeah, you as you rightly said, they definitely ask the scenario, like a business use case, what happens in this case, and how did you implement actually. Most of the technical interviews, when it is managerial rounds or when it is second round, third round of technical interviews, they go on use case, business case based. So what is your project domain, in which use case, what technology, what concepts, and how did you solve this problem? This is what the major questions come into picture. Okay, you're right.
Yes.
So that's where the business use cases will be given to you, and you may need to explain the business use case, and also need to explain the technology and the concept, the solution, what you tried and achieved it to solve that. Okay, either the workflow, either the problem statement, either the exception, okay, or a fix, okay, or a complexity. How did you worked around it?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Once we finish everything, if we discuss a couple of sessions like
Yeah.
these kind of
Correct.
questions,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you can
In the mock
ask us
interviews,
like
yes, in the
yeah.
mock interviews, we'll do similar way how we are doing, doubt sessions. We'll do the sessions for mock interviews after the course completion. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so that time, what I'll also tell the questions and answers. You can also come back with questions. We'll discuss all together.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a dedicated mock interview session. No problem. We'll do that.
Because once we pretty much at least like 70% we can answer your questions, so we will have a more confidence,
And
then we can sit
yes,
with the interviewer, like
yes,
sir, as you said that nobody knows 100%, but
yes,
we at least we try to be like 70%. That
70%.
will, yeah,
give a good confidence to to go to any interview. Yes, correct.
at least we will have a confidence once we discuss all these things before we sit in front of the interviewer.
Yeah.
So we will be like more, yes, we know something, we can we can answer the questions pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So,
while learning OOPS concepts, while learning capstone projects, you will learn entire SDLC life cycle. Okay, I'll make you to learn.
yeah.
Okay, if somebody asks project, no, you'll first draw the diagram. I'll make you to that level.
There the interviewer will start
Will get
impression there.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yes, because
he
you
will
really
change his-
implemented.
yeah.
Yeah, because people will most of the experienced people nowadays, they'll ask, can you draw the architecture of your project? This is what most of the people will ask. Most of the interviews will ask.
So also in the US right now, because so many people came from India, and they are like not like before. They try to figure it out who are fake, who are really have subject knowledge.
Yeah.
And they are going very deeper. At least they try to find out them in the first interview, or not only in the interview, they try to figure it in first 10 to 15 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, I got to know same thing, Mandeep. From I had a couple of discussions in a recent month. Okay, so actually we are going to collaborate with them. Raj Cloud Technologies is going to collaborate with them for giving the trainings for the MS passed out students, and for also who went there on the H1B visa for the jobs. So for all of them, we know a couple of consultancies, couple of couple of consultancies and the companies as well. Okay, so just a moment. Yes, Mandeep. Yeah. So we got to I had those connections. So we had frequent calls in the recent months. That whatever you said was completely 200% right. Okay, the market how it became is from the 2 years guy, 3 years guy, or 4 years guy, 5 years guy, they're expecting the skills or proficiency level somewhere to next level of, like the guy who has 10 years 15 years experience, expertise or skills, they're expecting from 3 to 5 years guy also, at least conceptual.
Yes.
that way the expectation has become. The market is little dry
Yeah.
in the US and Europe due to economic recession. It's not an IT recession, it's economic. Okay, they want to cut down the cost and show up their revenues, and show up their figures in the quarterly results, annual results, and all that. Nothing much. So down the line, next another 1-2 quarters, it has to revive. No need to worry. So governments also will
even
Yeah.
Yeah, even sir, now because I'm observing like so many, I'm following like a kind of some consultancies right now because the Python is still on top of the head,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they are expecting the quality. The only thing is they
Quality. Yes,
expect the
correct.
quality.
Correct. Python is kind of hot cake.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also they
hot.
are offering most of them remote. That's another big deal here.
Another. Yes. That's the one
That
more.
is,
Yeah, one
as you
more.
see, the market
Yeah.
is very bad in Europe.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a market in the last 15 years.
Okay.
Mm. That is the reason you can see me every day. I'm enrolling for the course,
Course.
sitting in the course.
Yes. Yeah. I think Mohammed, Kannadasan, Satish, and Girish, Naveen. See, I remember, even though they are not in this. Okay. I can remember 6 to 10 names. Okay. Every day they are keep asking many questions, learning, that eagerness, that that enthusiasm, that fire. Okay, to learn things. Okay, so it is very much required. Okay, you need to have that fire to learn something. Okay, then only that will be shown in your interview. That fire will, that fire will be shown. Undoubtedly, unknowingly, it will come up. It'll show up in the interview and it will be cracked. Because if we do not have that fire, we'll be learning only whatever is taught. So whatever is taught, anybody can learn, right? What you are doing. That's
Mm.
where that's what makes sense, right? Whatever is taught, if you learn, it doesn't make a difference to a normal person and you. Where you are making difference is you should show that difference everywhere. By showing fire, eagerness to crack anything. It can be learning something. It can be doing a code. It can be developing something. We should have some segregation. We should have some difference to someone and I. So that feeling we should have. Then only we'll make some difference to anyone. It's very good actually. Even if it is online trainings, I'm seeing most of the people are answering all the questions, very good, very quick answers. Even before I saw, a couple of people are answering, sir, you made this mistake. If I open the chat, they would have answered already. See how quick the students are. I really appreciate all of the people who are responding. I request all rest of the students also, be quick, be focused, bother me. I may not be knowing all the things. Okay, it's all preparing from my experience and looking content from most of the sources what I have, and I may not be knowing all. So if you see any problem, any realistic problem or anything on this topic which you want to learn, you can bother me, no problem. Okay, so we'll discuss at the end of the session or something like. Yes, Kannada.
Before we finish, I have couple of projects question.
Yes.
See, couple of years before in one of my project,
Yeah.
I was working as a Azure DevOps engineer, taking care of anything related to Azure DevOps releases and some sort of deployment.
Yeah.
So in that, what happened was like the developers are C# developers.
Okay.
And the .NET framework. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that can I convert that entire project into Python and say talk about like, okay, this is
Yeah,
what
you
is
can
developed.
you can do it. You can do that.
Okay.
I'll tell you, no problem. You can do that.
See, the C# we can replace with the Python. .NET, can I say I can replace .NET with the Django?
See, that's what. See, if it is a console service developed on a C#, say it's just a console.
It's a console, correct. It's a console.
It's a
yes.
console. Then you can tell I have written a Python console service by using core Python programming elements. It can be console service will use all the classes, all the functions, and multi-processing, multi-threading, and all that. You can tell that. Okay. If it is a .NET API, web API, okay, Microsoft .NET web API, you can tell I have done with Flask. Okay. If you have Microsoft .NET C#, Microsoft ASP.NET C# application, you can tell I developed with Django.
Oh, okay. This is where I need your help. Let's say since it is a console application,
yeah.
Can I say it was written in ASP.NET?
No. See, C#, Microsoft C# console service will be a Python console service developed on core Python.
Okay. Okay.
If you have web application, then you can tell if it is Microsoft
It's not a
ASP.
web application. It's a some sort of a call center management, call center software.
So it's a console. You mean to say it's a console, right?
Yeah, it's a console. Yeah.
And there is no APIs exposed, or there is no UI web pages for that, right?
There will be a front end, right?
And that's what I am asking. See, if it is
there is a front end. Yes, there is a front end.
Okay, then see, if a service is running, just running a service, okay, doing something with the business logic or doing something on the data, okay, in the background, it's a console. Okay, no UI, no APIs exposed to someone else to consume. If APIs are, there is a business logic and there is a APIs exposed to someone else, then it is in the .NET, it is web API. Okay, if the API is exposed, okay, APIs exposed on the